We are only one day away from the solar eclipse, the totality between 1:40 and 1:44 in Dallas. But that time does differ depending on where you find yourself here in North Texas. An area like McKinney, it's between 1:42 and 1:45. In Paris, it's between 1:44 and 1:48. So those times do differ just slightly. As we move into the afternoon hours on Monday, we do have some clouds around, but in a lot of locations, I think it's the high, thin clouds that will be with us, especially for areas along and north of I-20. Those locations have probably better chances of seeing the eclipse. There will be some scattering of the cloud cover as we move towards Monday afternoon as well. It's areas along and south of I-20 that I think the low clouds and the stratus clouds will be problematic, and that's where viewing might not be as ideal. For everyone, as we get towards the late afternoon hours, that's when we'll start to see thunderstorms arrive. So you want to make sure you've already got a plan in place from where you're watching the eclipse to where you got to go back. If it's your hotel, an Airbnb, or if it's just your house that you're trying to travel back to, make sure you have a way to get severe weather alerts, because we do have some real rough weather heading our direction late Monday afternoon and into Monday evening. This is what it looks like. This is the HRRR model. These are high resolution models that now have come into focus on Monday's eclipse. And I want to show you the clouds that we've got in place first thing in the morning. It's pretty expansive here, but you'll notice as the morning wears on, there are already starting to see breaks by mid-morning. It's areas south and to the east that have the low clouds and the stratus deck in place. As we move closer to totality, that happening again between 1:40 and about 1:44, depending on exactly where you are. It's areas to the south that have the higher likelihood of seeing the clouds. Areas from pretty much I-20 north have a better shot of seeing clouds breaking, and those clouds at that point in time should be all high, thin clouds in those locations north of I-20. But it doesn't take long after the time of the eclipse wraps up to the time that we're starting to see thunderstorms develop here, and we watch these thunderstorms unfold right into Monday evening, and some of them will be severe. I want to show you another model. It shows similar activity happening here. The cloud cover first thing Monday morning, not quite as expansive, but certainly off to the south and east, still dealing with those low clouds there. And then you'll notice as we get closer to the midday and into the afternoon, when totality is happening, you'll also see that there's still some breaks in the clouds across parts of North Texas, still have that dense cloud deck for areas south and east. And then as we get towards the afternoon and evening, again, thunderstorms going to be developing here. So the theme here is low clouds to start. We will see some breaks, especially for areas north of I-20, and then thunderstorms move in late in the afternoon. This again after the eclipse is over, but it could be an impact to you if you're traveling home after the eclipse, depending on where you're viewing it and where you got to go back to by Monday afternoon and Monday evening. Large hail, a big concern with all of this, damaging winds and a few tornadoes all on the table here. Along with all of this, we've got some very heavy rain, and flooding will be an ongoing issue into the early part of next week. So we've got the high clouds. This will allow for some viewing across parts of North Texas. The low clouds look to be more likely, especially as you travel further off to the south and east, at areas along and south of I-20 going to be dealing with that. And those rain and storm chances going to be pushing into the area again late afternoon and into Monday evening after the eclipse is over. But you could be stuck in traffic, or if you've got a longer distance to travel back to home base, you could be dealing with some of that activity. Of course, you can always find the full forecast and all the latest details on the eclipse on NBCDFW.com.